Hello. Good to see you.
Hello there, Revenants. Welcome back to Code Vein. And today we are going to be taking a look at the Buried Fool. These things are some long-ranged and close-range lost in the game, and they have a charge kind of attack, and it is very, very, very obvious when they are going to attack because they lean their head up in the air and then they lunge forward and shoot at you. So these guys are typically not a threat when you fight one of them singly solo by yourself. However, they become a super threat when you have multiple enemies on the field and these things are shooting at you from across distances. So keep these things in mind as you are adventuring in Vane, because they do show up in quite a few places, and they actually do move at a very, 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 very slow rate. So these things, you can see them sometimes. They will start to creep and crawl around, albeit exceptionally, exceptionally slow. But they do have the ability to move. However, they are buried in the ground, as their name would suggest, and so they move exceptionally slow. So that's why they have a ranged attack, I would hazard to guess. So for these guys, they have very, very, very bizarre weaknesses and strengths and everything here. Uh, Typically, they have several different flavors. They have a blood flavor and they have a fire flavor. This is the fire flavor version here in the Rocky Ruins, so you may never actually get here to the Rocky Ruins to actually meet these fellas. However, you need to keep in mind that that there are blood versions in the Ashen Cavern and several other places, like some of the Tower of Trials and different things. So you will run into them here and there. However, there is no ice version, there's no lightning version, so you only have a fire and a blood version. So keep that in mind. Here in this area where we find the buried fool, they have the boss type, which is in the middle, which is an enhanced version of the four that are around the side here. The four around the side are regular normal versions, and the one in the center is beefed up significantly from what these fellas here on the side are. As soon as you enter the arena here, you will be met with all five of them shooting at you at one time, and so it is best to avoid all of the fire from the enemy by just staying to the left or right, or go directly into to the central one, which is the mini boss, and make sure that you keep yourself dodging as soon as you get there, or using shifting hollow or vanishing hollow in order to dodge all of their attacks proper. For these fellas, they have a weakness to slash damage, so some sort of slashing weapon would be preferred. And they have a minus 10% weakness to slash damage. So everything that you have in one-handed swords and your wonder of going for, quick attacks, that does exceptionally well versus these enemies. They have a 0% resist to crush and a 0% resist to pierce. So literally any damage type, and you will not be met with resistances, but you will be granted an added bonus if you go for something slash. So keep those kinds of concepts in mind. So it doesn't really matter how you fight these guys or how you approach them. You will do great damage no matter what you are doing. For their elements, oh, and I should say here real quick, for Merciless Reaper, with slash damage, if you happen to run Reaper with like a Dusk Edge or Jupiter's Blade or an Aurora Flash, something like that, you will absolutely shred through these guys, since you will get a 40% increase to your damage just because of Merciless Reaper. So that is a great, great, great way to go about damaging these guys. So the slash gifts paired with Merciless Reaper do very, very, very well, and probably the best one you could go for that is very fast would be Volatile Storm. It will absolutely eat these guys alive, so keep that in mind. Merciless Reaper plus Volatile Storm, and if you go with Dark Shout as well, you can absolutely shred these things in an exceptionally short amount of time. So something like this would be a great a great way to go about destroying these things. So let's see here if we can see what that looks like in practice, if at all here. And we'll go for this and this. Good. And sure, we'll go for the increased gift speeds here. Okay. And I think I have another one here. Yep. Okay. And let's see what slash Merciless Reaper does here versus these guys. Okay, and you can see there that he's indeed taken out in one little attack there. So the 50% increase to our dark value plus the 40% increase to our slash damage, and we didn't have an element, so we didn't have to consider his non-physical requirements there. Now the run back for these guys is exceptionally awful, because if you go too fast, as you see here, this guy right there will attack you immediately as you come around the corner. So it's best if you stagger your approach in order to actually get around him without him taking a liking to you and slashing your face off. These guys do pure fire damage, so if you have a blood veil that has a fire chrome, a Scothic chrome on it, then you can go for straight up fire resist, and as long as you have higher than 160 fire resist, you will be completely invincible to these fellas, which is really good, because they can end you in 1 or 2 hits here at max difficulty. Keep that in mind. For their element resistances, they have a 0% blood resist, a minus 10% ice resist, a 40% fire resist. So since these guys are doing fire, they have a 40% fire resist, and this is swapped with the blood fellas in the Ashen Cavern and otherwhere as well. So no blood, no fire. But for these guys specifically here, you can do blood, and that is completely fine. For lightning, they have a 0% resist to lightning as well. So ice, blood, and lightning, pretty much anything except fire, you will be completely fine. For the status debuffs, here you will have access to all of them except Inhibit. You cannot inhibit them because they have one gift, and it's shoot fire, and if you were able to take that away, then they would literally sit there and look at you and not be able to do anything. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. However, that's not how Vayne is set up. So no Inhibit, you can't do this, but you can do all the other things, and it's pretty funny to watch them do to get slowed by Binding Mark, and they just kind of sit there forever looking at you, and they don't really do much. So slow kind of makes up for the fact that you can't inhibit them. Now they do go in the order of weakness. They go in Venom first, and a very close second, if not absolutely identical, in Slow. So Slow and Venom, you can get them going very quick, and they have a pretty fair resistance to stun, but you can stun them. It will just take a significantly increased amount of weapon strikes before you actually get them stunned. And they're not even that worth getting stunned because they count as a regular enemy. And so as soon as it would get stunned, the very next hit would take them out of stun, and they would be ready and available to strike at you again. So definitely go for Slow and Poison, and you will take them down exceptionally quick. Here at max difficulty, the dude in the center has 15,867 HP. At 0 star min difficulty, he has 5,967 HP, so about tripling for these guys. However, the guys on the sides have a little over 5,000 HP here at max difficulty even, and at 0 star they're even weaker. So the little guys, the regular dudes, are not very difficult at all. However, the guy in the middle, the reason we needed Dark Shout and Merciless Reaper is to take him out in one gift, because he does have an enhanced range of his health pool. So keep that in mind as you go through, and if you keep that fire resist very high, here we are at 216, you can run in, and you can kind of attack, and you can see there, it doesn't matter. So see, these guys have about 4,000 or so HP, and so 1595, 3209, 784. So yeah, right under 4,000 HP, all things considered here. Okay, and we are now susceptible to fire. As you can see, get elemental wall going, and we are right back up on top. Okay, we'll go for some damage here, and you can see that now we don't have that super crazy increased amount of damage because we don't have Merciless Reaper or what is that? Dark Shout active. These guys do drop 310s in this area. However, they typically drop just like Lost Shard type stuff. They don't drop anything interesting or significant. Here they can drop 310s because you're in the Rocky Ruins, but by the time you get here and you need 310s, you're just going to go fight the main boss of the area, the Successor of the Throat, and you'll just pound her for MJ 310s, or you'll go and fight the Queen's Knight Reborn in the Zero District to get tungstens as well as 310s. So there's really no point in farming these guys for 310s because you only get one at a time, and it's not really, and that's only if they drop a 310. So long story short here, you want to go for a Slash paired with Merciless Reaper and paired with Dark Shout if you can swing it, and go for as high of a dark value as possible to go for some of that awesomeness here. But you can see that our dark value here was very low at 225, which is why the volatile storm didn't do very much damage to him when we casted it. So our weapon was doing way more damage, and because we were using a slash weapon, we were getting that 10% increase for free. And so if you are going for one single gift that you want to swipe these guys with, Aurora Flash is the only ice slash gift in the game, and this is the one-shot killer for sure. If you run in with the Sub-Zero Shroud and you have Aurora Flash active with Merciless Reaper and Dark Shout, you will absolutely shred these guys because you get a minus 10% for ice, you get a minus 40% weakness for Merciless Reaper, you get a 50% increase to your dark value because of Dark Shout, and Aurora Flash is exceptionally fast. So definitely want to keep an eye on that when you get to these guys. Go for Aurora Flash, and you will end them very quickly. Ice Slash. That's all you need to know, and you'll be fine. All right, guys. Thank you for your time, and thanks for watching. Hope this helps you, as you may or may not be visiting the Rocky Ruins on the frequent. I would imagine not many people do. So if you do happen to delve into this depths area, this will help you understand what you need for this area. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.